Valentine's Day Horror Story by Veil of Dark Whispers. The heart harvester. Love can be beautiful, but sometimes love can be deadly. In the small, forgotten town of Ravensmoor, Valentine's Day wasn't celebrated with roses and chocolates. It was remembered with fear, a lingering dread that seeped through the cracks of every old house, every shadowed alley. For in Ravensmoor, Valentine's Day was the anniversary of the heart harvester. It all began in 1924 with a woman named Elijah Harrow. She was the kind of beauty that could stop men dead in their tracks. Fiery red hair, piercing green eyes, and a smile that promised both warmth and danger. But Eliza had a secret. She was in love with a man who didn't exist. Every year, Eliza would receive a single crimson rose and a handwritten Valentine's card, inked in perfect flowing script. The letters spoke of eternal love and promises of a future together. Yet no one ever saw her suitor. No one knew his name. And as the years passed, the town whispered. Some said she had gone mad. Others believed the suitor was a ghost. But in 1929, everything changed. On Valentine's night, Eliza was found dead in her home, her heart carved from her chest, and in its place, a single crimson rose. The walls were painted with blood, but there was no sign of forced entry. Only the familiar handwritten Valentine lay beside her, reading, "Forever yours, as promised." The town buried Eliza quickly, hoping to forget the horror. But Ravensmoor would never forget. Because every year after, on Valentine's Day, another woman was found murdered in the same grotesque fashion, their hearts ripped from their bodies, replaced by that same crimson rose and a card in the same handwriting. The police were baffled. The handwriting never changed. The roses never wilted, and no fingerprints were ever found. Decades passed. Generations came and went. But the murders continued, always on Valentine's Day. Then, in 1987, a young journalist named Claire Whitmore arrived in Ravensmoor, determined to uncover the truth behind the heart harvester. Claire wasn't afraid of ghost stories, and she certainly didn't believe in curses. But what she found would haunt her forever. She began her investigation with Eliza's old letters, now kept in the dusty archives of the town's library. The ink was still fresh, as if written yesterday. As Claire read through them, she felt an icy chill crawl down her spine. The words weren't just declarations of love, they were warnings. Our love transcends time. We will be together no matter the cost. That night, Claire returned to her motel, exhausted but intrigued. She placed the letters on her nightstand and drifted to sleep. But at midnight, she awoke to the scent of roses, fresh, overpowering and cloying. Her heart pounded as she realized the letters were gone. In their place, a new Valentine's card sat, ink still wet, Welcome to Ravensmoor, Claire. I've been waiting for you. Panic surged through her veins. She scrambled to the door, but it was locked from the inside. The windows wouldn't budge. And then she heard it. A soft, rhythmic tapping at the window. She turned slowly. Outside in the dim moonlight stood a figure, tall, shadowed, with eyes that glowed a faint, unnatural red. In his hand, a single crimson rose. Claire screamed. The next morning, the motel staff found her room empty, the bed soaked in blood. On the pillow lay a crimson rose and a card that read, "Forever yours." As promised, Claire was never found, and the murders continue to this day. Each year, another heart is claimed, another rose is left behind. But the horror didn't stop there. In 2005, a group of thrill-seeking teenagers drawn by the legend decided to spend Valentine's night in Eliza Harrow's abandoned house. Armed with cameras and bravado, they laughed off the warnings of the townsfolk. But laughter soon turned to screams. At midnight, the house grew impossibly cold. The walls began to bleed, dark red rivulets seeping from the cracks. The air thickened with the scent of iron and roses. One by one, the teenagers vanished, their terrified screams echoing through the halls. Only their cameras remained, each one capturing a glimpse of a shadowy figure, his eyes glowing, his smile grotesquely wide, holding a crimson rose. When the police arrived, they found no bodies, only blood, roses, and the same chilling card in each room, "Forever yours," as promised. But the curse had grown stronger. In 2015, Ravensmoor experienced something far worse. Entire families began to disappear, not just on Valentine's Day, but throughout February. Their homes were found in perfect condition, doors locked from the inside, meals still warm on the tables. Yet every mirror in these homes was shattered, and on each fragment of glass, scrawled in blood, were those same chilling words, "Forever yours." As promised, residents began to speak of seeing reflections that didn't belong to them, figures standing behind them in mirrors, whispering their names in voices that dripped with longing and malice. Some claimed they could hear the faint sound of a heartbeat echoing through their homes at night, growing louder as February 14th approached. By 2020, Ravensmoor was nearly abandoned. The few who remained lived in constant fear, their windows boarded, mirrors covered, and hearts pounding with every creak of the floorboards. But even that wasn't enough. The Heart Harvester had found a new way in. It said that if you hear your name whispered in the dead of night, followed by the scent of roses, it's already too late. He no longer waits. But the legend doesn't stop there. Even now, across the world, strange cases surface every Valentine's Day, people vanishing without a trace, their rooms left in eerie silence, except for a single crimson rose and a blood-stained Valentine card, the handwriting unchanged. The message always the same, forever yours, as promised. Some say the heart harvester is still searching for his lost love, stealing hearts to replace the one he could never truly have. Others whisper that the curse has spread beyond Ravensmoor, following those who dare to speak his name. And now you know his story. So tonight, when the clock strikes midnight, listen closely. If you hear a soft tapping at your window, if the scent of roses fills your room, whatever you do, don't look outside, because once he's found you, there's no escape. Happy Valentine's Day. And may your heart stay right where it belongs. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because there are many more dark tales waiting for you in the Vale of Dark Whispers. Sleep well, if you can.